Hello everybody. We find in the Shulchan Aruch a special blessing that's to be said over a head of state, a king. The bracha is Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Shenatan Michvodo Lebasar V'Dam, that he gave of his honor and his respect to flesh and blood. That this king is honored in a similar way, a sort of a way, like a king, in the same similar way to the way we respect HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says the Lev Chaim that this applies even if the king is not a good king. It's not a question of whether he's a good king or a bad king. It's a question of this person has that honor that we want to respect and see, and to, through it, realize the honor that we're supposed to have for Hashem. If the king's a real Rosha, if he's someone like Hitler or Saddam Hussein, right, or Idi Amin, these type of people, really, really evil people, then we wouldn't make a bracha on them. But generally, to generalize, it's not a question of whether this is a good king or a bad king, as long as he's not an extreme Rosha. We have this special bracha that we make on him. This bracha that I just said only applies if the king is a non-Jew, of a non-Jewish country, another country apart from Israel. A king of Israel, we have a special bracha that we say, Hushemechalek michvodo leyirav, that his honor was distributed to those who fear him. That's referring to the Jewish king. Now, some poskim say that there's even a special mitzvah to go and see a king, just to see that power, and to imagine through the power that you see that this king has, how really we're supposed to respect Hashem, who's the king of all kings. The poskim write that this bracha only applies to a king who can kill, who has the power to make a decree that someone is going to be executed, and that will be carried out. A king whose will is always carried out. Now, according to that, that won't really apply to most of our leaders today. The President of America can't kill people. The President of America can't make decisions by himself. He has to have the approval of the Congress, of the Senate. In England, too, the Prime Minister doesn't have power like that, and the Queen of England doesn't have power like that. In fact, she has very, very little power nowadays. So should it be that we wouldn't make a bracha on them because of that, because they don't have the power to kill? All our countries are democracies nowadays. The majority of countries in the world are democracies. So in a democracy, there's certainly no one with that special power. And so therefore maybe we wouldn't be making the bracha on anyone, just on maybe in a few little small banana republics in the south of Africa, where there's actually still a king, would we be able to make that bracha. Some poskim say that the bracha is dependent on having special clothes for the king, which certainly the President of the United States doesn't have, even though the Queen does, the Queen of England does. So what do we do now, halacha l'maaseh, in our times when there are certainly very, very powerful people in the world, the President of the United States, the Queen of England, the President of France. There are certainly powerful leaders in the world, but they don't seem to fill the criteria that the halacha set down for us for this bracha. We turn to the great poskim of our time. Rav Vosner, the Shevet HaLevi, has a tshuva about this. He writes that any leader, any world leader who has tremendous power, even if they can't actually do things by themselves, but their power is tremendous and everyone in the whole planet accepts this person's power, or is frightened of this person's power, is in awe of this person's power, then you can make the bracha on them. So he writes that you can make the bracha on the President of the United States. You can make the bracha on the Queen of England, who certainly has special ceremonies that show the special respect that is shown to her. Someone who is a leader that is accepted amongst everyone, that they have tremendous power, on someone like that, says the Shevet HaLevi, so you're allowed to make the bracha. So to summarize, the bracha on the head of a state can be said over someone who has a tremendous amount of power. Thank you very much.